Hello, everyone. It is the Sea Tactics, and I am here with my super special guest,
the Squid Jam monster.
That's right, the Squid Jam monster, and he's here today to. Well, you're supposed to keep going with the Squid Jam monster persona there.
Squid Jam. It's a Squid Jam. It's a jam with some squid. It's a bit like hentai, a hen with a tie.
SAO alternative was a mistake.
You were a mistake.
Wow. I didn't do anything to you. So, before we even get into anything, we have to remind all of you people out there that may be watching this podcast, in July, we will be having a special where it's some big, long episode.
A big, long oogie.
Where it's big, long, it's veiny, very meaty.
I like that.
We're going to be covering the part 1 of the ReZero dub, specifically the dub, because it's new, and we're going to also talk about Ayamatsu Ui. Ayamatsu If. It's still there. I haven't corrected it. I don't know why. And that Amelia is best girl and Rim sucks big time. So that's still there as well. I guess I have to say that.
I'm glad you still remember. I was very concerned after that one podcast. I was so angry. I was seething. I just had to beat it into you.
You sounded really angry when I said Amelia was worst girl.
Heavy breathing.
So angry, in fact, you didn't really seem that angry.
Yeah, it's kind of like a delayed effect. It caught up with me an hour after. I couldn't get to sleep. I was like...
You're just laying in bed and you're like, I wonder why I can't get to sleep. And then me saying Amelia is worst girl started to echo in your head, and it just, the rage seething.
I just had to get up and get back into Discord and shout hurls of abuse at you.
So that's why you got up that night and you just, sent me messages, streams of curse words.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. That's, that really hurts my feelings now that I know the context of that.
It should do. It was meant to.
Anyways, we're covering Chapter 27 of the web novel of ReZero from Translation Chicken.
He's a sexy chicken. I wouldn't mind having his eggs.
Apparently, he's not just one person. Apparently, he's multiple people.
Fake news. He ain't got no shadow clone jutsu.
No, he's got other people working with him.
Shut up.
Well, you can't. I mean, he does. It's on his site. It's at the bottom. There's a credits part. God damn it. Anyways, this chapter 27, is called Whisper. Subaru continues his conversation with Garfield, which leads to Garfield guarding the entrance of the tomb for the rest of his stay. But in this important back and forth, okay, so a little bit of context. Subaru and Garfield are confronting each other. So now that you know that, this may now make a little bit more sense. But in this important back and forth, we find out that every time Subaru dies, the smell of the witch gets stronger. So eventually, over time, people will also be able to smell it, but also attract, I assume, the cults. This leads to Subaru giving up for the night, but not giving up hope altogether, until the voices in his head start to cast their doubts. But after thinking it over, Subaru vows to never give up on Amelia, and through hell or high water, he will be her support.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Isn't that sweet?
Oh. So I guess my
solid chapter.
It's a lot shorter than the last one too, which is nice. Some of them have been really long, so it's nice to have something short and concise to read. But
it was nice not to read a book's worth of stuff.
Yeah. I guess so. The first thing I've got a note on is, why can't Subaru smell the scents? Satella specifically chose Subaru to come to this world, and she gives him an incredible ability, and can you really not notice any traces of her at all? It just seems a little bizarre. It's just another level of mystery, I guess, add to the story.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions that come with that. Garfield, did you mess with my notes again?
Maybe.
This one says, I want to make a bed out of squid jam and have a 3-way with Micah-chan and Lin-chan.
I mean, who wouldn't? You know, oh, yeah. Yeah, that's...
They're like teenagers.
Oh, hey, the younger the better. Get them started early.
You said that. This was... Yep. All right. Yeah, so I do have a lot of questions about the scent. Like, how do people smell it in the first place? And who is, like... And who is deemed worthy to smell it, I guess? Like, what are the qualifications of being able to, like... Do I have to, like, level up to level 20 to be able to smell this certain thing? And as like a throwback reference to people who've played The Witcher 3, does she smell like lilac and gooseberry?
Maybe. I think Seaweed could be a gooseberry type of disease. I can picture that. But I'm not sure if I mentioned this like for chapter 20 for 26 because we're recording this like a week after we're doing like a different like merging them together because we seem to be they seem to be getting longer and longer. But like I feel like so the only people who have mentioned this before are Rem and now Garfield, and both of those like they aren't human. Like I wonder if it means like regular humans can't smell it, but like demi-humans or like demi-demons, if that's what Rem is, I'm not really sure. But like there has to be like something else mixed in there with like the human or something, or you have to be like full on demon or monster or something to pick out the smell, I guess. Gotta have that super smell.
Something a little bit more anthropomorphic, maybe.
Yeah. Horse girls. Uma Musume.
Yeah.
I'm sure Special Week could smell it.
Well, I mean,
Special Week's
I've never seen that anime. So
it's pretty good.
I don't know.
It's got horse girls and stuff.
Yeah.
The racing's not too bad either, actually. Let's go back to ReZero.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's just like a lot of questions and a lot of like new opportunities for the story to go with this smelling, this scent he has, because before it wasn't a factor in the series.
It was kind of like so it is to an extent actually. So do you remember in the anime when they fight the witch's whale?
Yes, there is that one time. There is that one time.
So like Subaru shouts, "Hey, I can return by blah," and then like the whale immediately like turns around and starts chasing him.
Oh, I didn't. I thought you were talking about that other part.
I don't remember this other part.
You smell. Ren was like, "You smell terrible."
Oh yeah.
Put on deodorant.
I thought I'd already mentioned the Ren bit, but yeah. So there was a bit of the whale too, which is interesting.
Maybe the whale just got really mad. It was like, "I'm going to attack you now."
So maybe
called me out, bro.
Whale wars.
Whale wars. Yeah, it's just Subaru is now like he has a harpoon and he's trying to catch whales.
Here's the thing with the smell though, like Garfield says he didn't mind the smell before, and it's but since he's like come back from Return by Death, that it's become too strong. Like why is it like the quantity of the smell that matters so much? Does it have like an effect on things? And we just talked about now with the white whale. Does it like draw in the mar beasts? And like in previous chapters, actually, Donna, when they were in the Citadel, she's already made reference to two of the other great mar beasts created by Daphne, which I think was the Black Serpent and the Great Rabbit, maybe. I'm pretty sure that's them. Actually, Donna's already like made reference to them, and I just wonder if that's like a factor of why they're concerned. But like even if it did lead to a mar beast attack, like. I feel like they have enough manpower there that why would it be an issue? Like they've got Garfield who's like ridiculously strong. They've got Roswell, who even though he's like battered up at the moment, I still suspect he can put up one hell of a fight. I feel like there's something more like deeper rooted issue as to why Garfield was reacting like this. There's other people as well, like in previous chapters, like it's either Luz or Garfield allude to there being other people like even more crazy than Garfield. It's like with those people there, like that place should be like a fucking fortress, you know, or at least be able to repel like a serious attack like the white whale. So I am like curious as to if there's some sort of other motive that's there.
I mean, to me, I think there's an even important question, maybe a little bit more of a kind of one that the series has kind of, I wouldn't say avoided necessarily, but it's one that's, I think, it's kind of a good question to ask, and that is, who can smell this? Because if you know, if Garfield can smell it, if Rem can smell it, well, who's to say that Puck can't smell this? Beatrice can't smell this. Like, and if they can, they've obviously been keeping a secret. And now that, and speaking of secrets, who there has to be more people that know this and have to know the smell of the witches on Subaru, and so they've kept it a secret. And I wonder if
you're not
this is going to play. I wonder if this is going to play into the fact where it's going to mess some things up for Subaru. It's like how it does here, how he will not be able to take the trials because he smells like the witch. I wonder if it's something more political when something important like that happens, and Subaru is around Amelia and he smells like the witch, and someone there can smell it, and then that hurts Amelia's chances for becoming the king. I wonder if that's going to play into it, because if it's a good wrinkle to have in there, because now it's now a question that we don't have answered. It's now a mystery, and on top of that, it's a mystery that can potentially affect, or has already affected, the whole story as we know it.
See, here's the thing: we could already get a scene like that by the end of the arc. You know, like what's going to happen when Subaru gets knighted? There's always a possibility that they go down that route of, you know, shit's not going to go down like we expected. Subaru's not going to get that knighthood. You know, maybe he will, maybe he won't. Maybe someone there will be, he smells like the witch, get him. But I also think, so like Subaru's got quite a lot of like allies in the capital. So like even though like Crucius Camp is kind of like fucked at the moment because of what happened like in the interludes, you know, like Wilhelm's still gonna like defend him like from pretty much anything, I think. And like Julius has a very like high opinion of him now as well. I feel like he'll be like, even if it does become an issue, like I feel like there's enough people on his side to like defend his case so that it's probably not going to be like a huge issue. Like Reinhardt, like I don't think Reinhardt's gonna like. Would Reinhardt see it as an issue? I'm not sure. Well, I don't think he would.
When it comes to that, there's more questions that can go along with that, and it's does the scent rub off on others? And if so,
it's interesting.
If it can rub off onto others,
I hadn't thought of that.
Would that cast doubt in those people near Subaru? And if that would happen, what is the benefit of having Subaru around people or anyone important when, I mean, already, you know, the scent is getting strong, and if it gets strong enough, if he dies more, and if the smell doesn't go away over time, then what is, I mean, the benefit and rewards you get from having Subaru around are already considerably not as high as some other people. Just for the nature of him being totally normal. He's just
that is a good point. I don't want to go into spoiler territory, but as the series progresses, Subaru won't be this sort of like useless. Like, I'm not saying he's useless already, but when it comes to like combat and being able to like the reason why he succeeded before is because he maneuvered people. You know, he doesn't really have any combat abilities of his own. But as the series progresses, from what I hear, that they are going to fix that, and he's going to sort of become quite combat savvy. So I don't think that's going to be like a huge issue moving forward. But it's definitely interesting to think about. Like at present, you know, I feel like if it didn't happen, like in this arc, you know, maybe that's like a slight missed opportunity to do something sort of quite creative and fun.
So near the end of this chapter, Subaru is I think he's kind of like alone, and either that or he's just kind of thinking to himself, and he starts to cast doubts about Amelia, and he says a bunch of stuff. Basically, it's just like, you know, his conscience saying, you know, give up on her. She's basically like a dead weight at this point.
I have a theory about this, but carry on.
And I mean, it shows, you know, that it was a nice touch, I think, because typically, if this would happen in another anime, just any other common anime, I feel like they wouldn't address that. They wouldn't have the character casting doubts on this other character because, you know,
it's very grounded. It's very much grounded in reality.
Yeah, it shows that Subaru isn't this, like, as I put in my notes, the embodiment of a shonen protag. He has his doubts, and
that's kind of
he has to cast those out of his head, because if he doesn't, those will fester, and that is human.
Exactly. Yeah, it makes him just like this great, like, you know how so many shows have these like self-insert protagonists, but this is the most, like, the greatest self-insert protagonist, because actually, like, it actually feels like, you know, like an actual person. You know, it's like, oh hey, this guy's like me.
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. It feels like I wouldn't say he's totally like a self-insert protag at all. Actually,
maybe not for you, but that's part of the, like, appeal of Subaru is like his way of thinking, like, sometimes mirrors mine, and just sort of like the sort of characters we are, I guess.
I mean, I think there's some relatable parts to him that can make him relatable to people, but I think that's in every character. I don't think he's any different than, you know, say...
Maybe it's more a personal thing for me, I guess, but...
Yeah, maybe, you know...
So I feel like there's, like, a lot of similarities, and it's not just in the way that it's like his parents too, like his mum, like, reminds me oddly an awful lot of my mum as well. It's there's a lot of weird similarities there.
Your mom likes mayo?
Maybe not the mayo part, but, you know, just like the general like personality, I guess.
Does she speak in innuendos?
Oh, all the time.
But yeah, you know, I really like that touch. I'd like to see that more in this series.
It's nice.
I like to see more characters casting doubt on others and, like, trying to figure it out in their heads, because without that, I mean, the character just comes out and is like, I will never give up on this character ever, because I am the main character. And that, you just don't do that. Yeah. And having that in there, it does, you know, it sets up a certain kind of unpredictability, even though, you know, for the most part, the way this show is going to go in terms of, you know, Amelia and Subaru's relationship, but that doubt is still there. And even though you know it's going to go a certain way, the doubt that is there works. It's still, no matter how insignificant and how unlikely it is, if you insert that small bit of doubt, it creates a much more compelling story and a much more compelling character.
That is very true. And, like, rationality can be like a cruel thing, and it's very interesting to see, like, his inner sort of, like, dark thoughts. And you know, to some extent, like, okay, although the story's probably, you know, that Dragon Maid does this to some extent. They cast out on events. So when, like, Toru uses her power, like, in the marketplace to stop the robber, and Kobayashi's like, well, what are you doing? People are, like, gonna go crazy, and you might become Japan's most wanted or something. But then, like, everyone cheers. Like, you know, of course everyone's gonna cheer, but, you know, there's always that like, they always have that level of doubt, and I really like that a show, like, you know, like a show or like a book can do this. It's one of the things that I really liked about Dragon Maid, actually, and it's really nice to see it here as well. It's just really good. And I suppose, like, going back to the thing about Amelia and, like, casting that, like, I feel like Amelia can probably learn to live with what she did, but, like, given the time frame that we have, like, it's not going to happen in this time frame. It's going to happen, like, over the course of the series. Like, we've still got, like, 3 years until the royal selection. You know, that's a lot of time for shit to happen. And here's another thing. So, with the Subaru talking to himself, I've got a theory. Like, okay, so we all like communicate with ourselves to some degree, but what if it's something else altogether, like a separate existence inside Subaru? You know, like maybe he's got like a split personality or something. There's like or some sort of demon or something inside of him, or maybe it's just two different people. Who knows? But it kind of explains why there's like so many apparent holes in Subaru's memories. Like, why doesn't he remember meeting Satella before? You know, despite despite
Well,
sort of bringing him
if we're
here.
going by your theory.
Oh wait, you know, and there's also like Roswell as well. You know, like it's so many times it's been inferred already in this arc that they've had interactions before, and like Subaru just doesn't remember. Like, yeah, I know it's sort of grabbing at straws with this theory, but I just thought it's like an interesting possibility other than him having his memory wiped.
So what I'm getting here is jet fuel can't melt still beams.
No, it just makes squid jam.
Like helicopters and chemtrails, right?
Yeah, and squid jam.
This is like a really out there.
Yeah, like if it was the
me.
memory wipe thing, it would tie in with like so like the Witch of Gluttony or the Archbishop of Gluttony, sorry, and like his ability. But it's just like an interesting just like theory that's just kind of, you know, it's like an alternative, I guess.
And I wonder if that is the truth, that this other Subaru, or I guess not this other Subaru, I mean, it's still Subaru. I guess this part of Subaru that has been kind of, I guess, locked away, so to speak. I wonder if that knowledge of those past meetings, if they come to be true, I do wonder if that the knowledge from those meetings and will have some significant effect, not only on in the moment, but for the whole world.
Yeah,
of this.
I feel like there's going to be like a huge revelation, maybe not just one, but multiple revelations that just kind of flips ReZero on its head and just changes how you fundamentally like view the series. I feel like something like that's coming, and I'm very excited.
I feel like there has to be, because no other isekai has really done this. I feel like for ReZero especially, and they could do this, and I'm gonna call it right now, the real world, as I'll call it, the world that Subaru comes from. It's going to play a huge factor.
I think it will. We've already got kind of... do you remember in Arc 3? Not Arc 3. It might be the start of Arc 3. Like, I may have linked you to like a manga, because it was like omitted from the anime, so they could like completely left it out.
Oh yeah, I understand.
Like the scene with Al and
when he's talking
Priscilla.
to the night.
Yeah, and about like the waterfall, and like how no one knows what's like beyond the waterfall, and like how they assume it's like the other worlds. Like that's going to come into play again, like for sure. There's a scene as well. Oh, sorry, carry on.
Well, there's a reason they mentioned the waterfall, and I think the waterfall is obviously some type of portal to this, for them another world, but to Subaru, Earth. I think they're gonna go. I think something. They could easily do it to where, like, maybe someone like Echidona's like master plan or whatever, just as a crazy example, just to like kind of explain this theory that maybe somebody goes to Earth and tries to take it over and tries to wreak havoc or whatever, and or tries to get away and assimilate into that culture and use that culture with her or their magic to take advantage of that world, or maybe there's some key in Earth or whatever to something, to some mystery that's in it. I don't know, but I have a feeling. I just Isekai has never traveled back. No, to like Earth. They've never.
It's interesting you say
went
this
back to the other world.
It's interesting you say this in relation to the witches as well, because I'm gonna get a little bit ahead of myself here, but so in chapter 79, so there's a scene. Well, it's not really a scene, but there's a bit of narration that describes how all the witches died. It's only like a paragraph long, but it's very interesting because one of them was doing something very interesting near the waterfall. Like I'm not going to go into I'm not going to say what it was, but it's very interesting. Like who that character is and what we know about her. And what it means for the future of the story, and if she was at the waterfall, has she ever been to the real world?
Yeah, I mean, I think there has to be some type of play in with Subaru going back, and maybe he goes back or something like that, and he thinks everything is done and everything's all right. But it turns out nothing's all right, and this is not what he thought it was, and now he has to maybe not save the day and be the one, but play a key factor in stopping from shit going down or whatever. That would not be very good. I think that I don't want to say it would be a mistake not to do it because Isekai. I don't have any expectations ever of Isekai. Jumping between those two different worlds of usually it's guy goes to sleep, wakes up in another world, and he never goes back. He's always in the other world.
I really hope they do. I need another scene with him and his parents.
Yes, I want him to go back, and for better or for worse, maybe it's something
even if it is
like
for worse.
Interstellar. Yeah, something like Interstellar, he goes back and time has traveled, they've went 40 years in the future because time is slower in the parallel world or whatever. I mean, I'd like that to be explained and talked about more. I would even be okay if they tried to even ground that aspect a little bit, and it's it's not a portal to a different world necessarily, like a different dimension or a space and time. It's the same universe. It's just on a different planet in a different, a totally different universe, out in space.
So I don't know if you've heard about this, but so the author has confirmed that L, the character like the knight that they were riding with in the dragon carriage, to the capital where they talked about the waterfall, he's going to be making a return in Arc 7. We're in Arc 6 at the moment, but so basically and Garfield was meant to make a return as well, but I just feel the author has also confirmed that one of the big sort of 3 mysteries of ReZero is going to get answered, and I feel like that's one of them. I feel like we're going to get an answer about that soon.
I think that's a key factor that keeps me really interested in ReZero is the fact that what's happening on Earth.
Yeah.
What is Subaru's loved ones doing and I hope it plays a key factor.
Yeah, it's kind of something they this book is really good at making you just forget about things and make you think they're not important, and then they show you a scene when you get the flashback to Subaru in his real world. It just kind of jogs your memory, or not necessarily your memory, but your brain into thinking, oh yeah, I forgot about that aspect to it. It's very good at manipulating the way you think. And manipulating your expectations based on previous works of the genre and sort of subverting them almost.
It'll be interesting to see where it heads.
Oh,
that's for sure.
There was one thing before we were talking about Subaru is in a sort of self-conscience, I guess. There is one thing that his self-conscience actually got wrong, and I can't really say why he gets it wrong without going into spoilers. There's another scene around chapter 77, 78 or something, and so there's a bit of narration. I'll read it. So it was a shallow worldview, some insignificant efforts, and his empty proclamations of love. Just how much support could they have truly given her? And after reading the chapters that Translation Chicken has just released, the latest ones, I'm like, wow, oh boy, you have no idea how much Subaru's efforts, how much they mean to Amelia. It really is like a red herring, like a Rick Astley, level Rick roll. It's that was very that was a very interesting red herring.
Yeah, I mean, that goes back to like what we've said a million times before, and why, you know, Amelia is one of the main characters, and not like just like another romance thing, like for Subaru to conquer or whatever it may be.
I wouldn't mind conquering Amelia.
Oh, wow, you said it, not me. I mean, she's like. She's so obviously cares so much about Subaru, and Subaru is so important to Amelia. I don't think that I don't know. It just seems so obvious to me.
Yeah.
Like Subaru and Amelia are peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
They just go together. It's
sorry, Rem. You're like the Marmite.
Wow. All right. Hurt my feelings.
So before we move on, I've got one. I've got a few other notes, but I've also got going back to like the return by death thing. So like obviously because of like Garfield's hostility, like Subaru summarized that return by death is the result of the witch, which we kind of already knew. It just sort of reiterates or confirms it in this case, but given the fact that return by death is what we assume to be a gift from Satella, does she have this ability as well? And it kind of like goes back to that. So what's Reinhardt's dad's name again? Wilhelm. So after the events of like the interlude where they've got sort of like the sleeping Rem, like Wilhelm's given that narration about like the witch and like the sage and the first sword saints and the dragon, like how they sit like. How it took all of them just to steal her away. Like, is that that ability like part of the reason how she managed to destroy like half the world, and like she can actually be killed, and that like the only way to defeat her was to like steal her away, like by like the dragon, the sage, and the sword saint. It just makes me very excited for like Satella's like backstory, and like specifically how it intertwines with Subaru. I'm almost more interested for that than I am for like Amelia and Garfield's like full backstory. There's like a huge amount of potential there, like for Satella, and I just really can't wait to find out like specifically about her.
As the series goes on, I'm not so sure that Satella is all that evil, like how the lore and how, like, you know, like in the first episode, you know, Amelia's like, do not call me by that witch's name. I'm starting to think she's not as bad, maybe, as people seem to make it out to be. Because, like, yeah, I mean, you look at Echidona.
One cunning, conniving. But you don't hear the evil stories about her, though. Well, you kind of do, but not really. So, like, I think at the start of Arc 4, they mentioned about like how all the other like witches' deeds were drowned out by just how, you know, just how on another level like Satella's were.
Yeah, I mean,
and I'll say this
it's one of those things with Satella, though. I think we'll have to wait and see on it.
I'll say this: by the end of chapter 29, you will have your answer. 79. You will have your answer.
I was about to say I finished chapter 29. Oh, did I miss something?
Yeah. Shit went crazy in those two chapters.
But yeah, moving on.
Have you got more notes?
Yeah,
or shall I carry on?
Yeah, do you got more notes?
Oh yeah, I've got another about page of notes.
Yeah, let's fucking do it.
So we get another hint at Garfield's past in this chapter. So I'll read like the narration again. So having picked up a scent that Subaru himself couldn't smell, the hatred within Garfield's eyes seemed as if they were glaring at the very murderer of his parents. And this isn't the first time that a narration has been used to describe Garfield's facial expression as the one like towards the murder of his family. And I feel like his parents are going to like play like a big role in his backstory and character development. Like given the fact that what we know about like demi-humans, how they're sort of like shunned like because of like the Witch of Envy, like it's kind of extended its way like from what I gather, not just to half elves but just to like demi-humans in general. Even got that like mentioned by Roswell of like the demi-human war like a couple of chapters ago. Like I feel like there's something very warped in that sort of timeline that sort of it's happened to Garfield. It's very sad.
So I think because of that, he's projecting, I assume. Is that what he's doing?
Maybe.
Kind of like he's projecting
His anger,
feelings of hatred.
Like he doesn't really
and
know how
anger.
to like. I feel like Garfield should be the one to face the trials. I feel like he possibly needs it more than Amelia. Maybe I don't know. We'll see.
Amelia's is unpassable.
Yeah.
I think we talked about this, but like, I don't understand how Amelia could even have hopes of surpassing anything with the trials. Yeah. But I mean, yeah,
I think it's more of a case of just like learning to live with it as opposed to sort of overcoming it for Amelia, sort of in her case.
Which makes me think, that's a question about the trials, so I'm not going to go too much into this. But I guess the trials, I mean, I think this kind of confirms based on how many people we know who've taken it and what has kind of come out of it. It's definitely not set up, like it's not hand-picked, I guess.
Yeah, it's very, so it's for demi-humans, so only demi-humans are supposedly allowed to take it, but of course Subaru got the qualifications for Metro's Donner to take it, but from what we know, like demi-humans don't have it easy. It's not easy, like being a demi-human, but even then, so like if you think about the Sanctuary, like what was Luz, like 100 and something years old, maybe older. Like the translations were a bit vague on that, but like so the Sanctuary's been there for a long time, so surely there must be like people there who've like been born there or grown up there, who haven't had that cruel life, who should be able to like face their past. And but then was there that bit that said there was some sort of like contract that prevented them from taking the trial? I can't remember now.
Yeah, I can't remember that either.
I feel like there was something about a contract that prevented some of them from taking the trial. I'll have to go back and check.
Yeah, it was something within the thing, them being there.
Yeah.
I can't remember. This was like 12 years ago.
So the next thing I've got is so Garfield almost, after he sort of gets really abrasive, he almost backs off in a way. He says he's almost like puts himself into check, I guess, almost like he says, right now, I should get you to read this quote actually. He says, right now, chewing your heads to shreds is easy, but then what? When the half-witch find out you're dead, there'll be even more trouble. Even I can tell you that much. Can I get you to read that? It would be great.
Right now, chewing your head to shreds easy, but then what? When the half-witch find out you're dead, then there'll be even more trouble. Even I can see that much.
So somehow I very much doubt that he's scared of Amelia. I feel like he's more worried about the beating that he'd get from Roswell, especially from his comments we have last chapter about his unmatched convictions to put Amelia on the throne. I even Luz, like a few chapters ago, said she didn't want to go behind Roswell's back. I feel like there's some sort of fear going on there, and I really want to know more. Like everything in this story just seems to lead back to Roswell. Like he has like he doesn't necessarily have all the answers, but I feel like he has a lot of answers.
Yeah.
And I think I mentioned this again like last chapter, but yeah.
Roswell's big evil as well. Louis
Chan.
I don't know. I just went blank. I don't know what I was gonna say. Moving on.
So where was mine? Oh fuck! Where am I? Oh yeah. So I've got kind of like a question, but to pose to you, like a jokey thing. Just to like segue something. I don't know. Just
Segues.
But not necessarily like not like a segue, but kind of just to like a little jokey thing to throw in there between all the discussions. So Subaru makes a joke to Garfield. Garfield says he's going to stand in front of the tomb, and he's like not going to move. And Subaru makes a joke, and he says, "If you stand in front of the tomb long enough without a bath, you'll smell so bad that Ram wouldn't want to go near you." And I guess my question is this: like, if you were a Ram, is Garfield a yay or a nay as a husbando material, and why?
If I'm Ram, 100%. Like Garfield and Ram are like PB and J, man. Like that just works. That works in my head. I don't know.
You may
they're so similar.
You may jump ships in Arc 5, but that's a story for another day. And it's something for anyone listening who's read ahead.
I doubt that.
Mimi Chan.
There's no way.
Mimi Chan, best girl.
There's no way. There's no way. It's Ram and Garfield all the way.
Rambo.
Taking it home to the bank.
She is quite a sadistic and like abusive character, and tie that in with Garfield, who likes to proclaim how he's the strongest and stamp on the ground a whole bunch. Yeah, that is kind of a good fit.
Yeah, Ram would keep him in check.
That is true. She would be the man in the relationship.
No, she would low-key be the man in the relationship.
Like
Garfield would get into trouble, and Ram would have to come bail his ass out or something.
I do find it amusing that I don't think Garfield was even that much taller than Ram. Like Garfield's pretty small, isn't he? He's like half a head taller than, or like a full. It's either half a head or a full head, like shorter than Subaru.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not.
He's quite small.
I guess I forgot that.
Oh, the little things my mind remembers. Yeah, Garfield's he's a shoter. Ram's into shoters. 100% confirmed.
He likes that Momofuku fur or something. What was it called?
That thing we googled that one podcast. That we never
forget.
I'll
forget the name, but it's like Mofu fur.
Yeah, the Mofu fur.
Mofu fur.
Maybe Otto's got a pillow made out of it.
Maybe.
So I guess my next note is so Subaru's meeting with Echidonna, like just before he goes in to face his trials. I feel like he met with like the meeting with Echidonna was very poorly timed, like in terms of like plot convenience. Since Return by Death was updated from the moment he wakes up from the tomb, and like all the crazy shit happens after. So he's not able to go back now that Garfield's like kind of blocking the path, and the obstacles in like Subaru's way are growing. Like, his path is blocked. His plan to free the sanctuary himself, it's pretty much a non-start at this point. Since Amelia hasn't had the chance to do the trials, and Subaru's kind of acted on his own and kind of set Garfield off now. And his plan to have Garfield fight Elsa, it doesn't seem all that viable given how the relationship's progressing, and also given the fact that we've got the Return by Death now. So even if he comes back and has to try again, there's still going to be that hostility from Garfield. I feel like that plan is kind of on hold unless Elsa comes to the sanctuary. The only way because Beatrice has a spatial power of sorts with her fucking library that just appears and disappears. What if there was a door in the sanctuary? That is the only thing I can think of that could possibly sort that one situation out. But things aren't looking good for Subaru right now, and Otto's probably still fishing by the river. Good old Otto.
You know what? You bring that up. Otto is most likely not even aware of the shit that Subaru is going through right now, and he's just like, caught another fish.
Hey, look, I caught a salmon. Well, this will taste good.
I can't wait to not talk to Subaru about this because he's mean to me.
Oh, he's such a meanie. I hate that Subaru. Well,
I just want to be friends.
Speaking of which, what sort of baits do you think they use in this world for fishing?
I think worms and stuff. I think it's the same thing.
Do you think? From what I remember, they've never specifically mentioned it. I'm just kind of curious if they did something bizarre or weird, or maybe they dangle little spirits in. Hey Amelia, give me some of your spirits.
I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say.
I think that's pretty much all of my beautiful little notes. I'll just check.
Well,
chapter 27.
I apparently have one more quote to read.
Oh, lovely. I like a good Garfield quote.
Well, I don't. Because I gotta do the Garfield voice.
Oh, it's your favourite voice.
Which is... It hurts. It hurts to do.
The audience will thank you. And I will mock you.
The audience... Well, they can just go ahead and you know what?
Whoa.
Yeah, that's right. I'm calling you out, audience. Getting fucked. I'll fight you all at PAX. How about that? Making it out alive after stepping on Gringham's tail, eh? Now get the hell out of my sight before I change my mind. I'd rather not make Ram hate me if I can.
You know, after that proclamation, I feel like someone in the comments is going to actually take you up on that challenge. I hear Harley practices Taekwondo.
Well, Harley can go ahead and you know what.
Whoa.
This is so tame, and you're just like, whoa, back up, world star.
Whoa. That's some strong provocative language. That is something for the Squid Jam chat.
Squid Jam.
That's something.
Speaking of Squid Jam chats, we both have servers now, right?
Yeah.
We should join both of them. Garfield's is a little bit more lewd.
But mine's a
little bit more rude.
Mine's more Moe stuff. You should. I've got a whole channel called Moe Art, which, funnily enough, is probably like the most active one in there of the chats. But yeah, we've also got a specific ReZero chat, so you should join that too. It's fucking mega.
Yeah. It's another public server to join. You should join mine as well. We have like 80 people in there, some shit like that.
Hey,
all of them hate me. It's fun.
Yeah, he's an arsehole in there. You really don't want to join that. He likes to put you down. Remind you that Amelia isn't best girl, even though she is.
How do you know?
And from what I understand, although I don't really watch the Fate series myself, from what I gather, he has a terrible choice in Fate waifus.
Rin Tosaka is not a terrible choice.
Oh, was there someone called Sakura?
Sakura.
Yeah.
Well, they just like Sakura because she's got purple hair and she talks cute.
Oh, is that the one that's not your wife? Which one is? I feel like there's some sort of war between two of them, and it wasn't Rin.
It was Rin Tosaka and Sakura Mato.
Oh, okay. I like Rin and Fate Khalid. Rin and Luffy are pretty funny.
Well, that's it for the Fate podcast.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, back to 301.
Thanks everybody for checking out the podcast. I guess where can you find us?
You can find us, or you can find me on the Twitter. I don't know why I'm doing this silly voice again, but at DreamoNemo, or my Discords, which there'll be a link in on my Twitter. Or maybe there'll be one in the description if you're feeling so kind to pimp me out a little slut.
If I can remember. Yeah. You can find me on Twitter as well at CTatsFW. You can also find me where you're finding me now. So make sure the subscribe button, bell icon button. I also have a gaming channel where I upload gaming stuff. Right now it's visual novel stuff just because I'm in the mood.
Hentai visual novels. And keyword hentai. Great stuff.
Technically, Fate Stay Night does have lewd scenes involving sex.
Excellent.
So,
that's what we like to hear.
Pretty graphic, from what I am aware. Not that special, but still pretty.
I'm still waiting for that Amelia and Subaru live action sex scene.
Oh, I heard that's happening in season 2.
Oh yeah, chapter 69, baby.
I don't even. Okay. So yeah, go check us out there, and thank you all for watching the podcast. Bye-bye. I mean, you can say bye-bye as well.
Bye-bye. I love Amelia.
Bye-bye.